Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Elizabeth Miranda and today I will be presenting my thesis defense presentation. Let's begin by reviewing the importance and rationale for generating this professional development training. As stated by the Behavior Analyst Certification Board 2020, analysts are considered to adhere to a code of ethics when benefiting others with the services they deliver. Additionally, it is encouraged to consider incorporating caregivers when implementing interventions with clients. This being the case, investigators felt it was essential to design a professional development training that emphasized the importance of conducting family guidance sessions and administering treatment packages that have proven to be successful within previous studies. Upon identifying the three major themes that would be discussed throughout the professional development training, analysts began to research and review literature related to these focus areas, those being the significance of familial systems, the utilization of powerful interventions that have proven to be successful throughout previous behavior analytic studies, and the significance of implementing treatment fidelity with caregivers. Let's first review the significance of the familial system. It is key to identify how challenging behaviors have the potential to negatively impact families to best assist them in selecting effective interventions for implementation. McStay et al. 2014, Jones et al. 1991, Drew et al. 2022, Andrews et al. 2021, Ralston et al. 2019 had identified frequently observed challenging behaviors and the negative impacts that arise from them, such as parental stress, lower quality relationships between siblings, poor performances of familial unit, adverse mental health conditions, and an inability to carry out daily tasks in the home and community. To quote Tung et al., page 167, 2014, parent training must be an essential component of early intervention because of the parent's central role in guiding their child's development. As a consequence, any response to early intervention is more likely to be maintained. Such quotations emphasize the importance of parent training amongst the familial unit and the positive impacts it may bring forth. Moving forward, let's discuss the utilization of powerful interventions that have proven to be successful throughout previous behavior analytic studies. Evaluating previous analyst investigation into utilizing behavior analytic interventions is crucial so that the variables commonly targeted for change in highly effective packages that bring forth said change can be highlighted. Authors such as Andrews et al. 2021, Fodstad et al. 2018 chose specific interventions such as acceptance and commitment training and behavior parent training intervention packages, and in addition to a self-interest behavior parent training intervention to reduce parental stress levels and challenging behaviors. In addition to attempting to minimize the frequency of undesirable behavior, analysts would seek out appropriate replacement behavior. Drew et al. 2022 study in which functional communication training was prompted in place of children engaging in interfering behaviors had proven to be successful. When engaging in the training portion of this experimental process, studies such as Andrews et al. 2021, Fodstad et al. 2018, Ralston et al. 2019, and Fettage et al. 2015 would use teaching and coaching strategies such as psychoeducation, modeling, role-playing, discussion of the potential strategies utilized, and more, which proved to be successful amongst families. Lastly, let's discuss the significance of implementing treatment fidelity with caregivers. Ensuring that any treatment package procedural steps are implemented as designed is best practice. This is especially true when caregivers apply the selected behavior analytic strategies. Ralston et al. 2019 and Drew et al. 2022 illustrated their understanding of how treatment fidelity played a role in the caregiver's execution of interventions by establishing research questions based on such concepts. For example, can parents meet their treatment fidelity criterion percentage succeeding training and coaching phases? In addition to, what role does high levels of treatment fidelity play in the implementation of the selected interventions on undesired and alternative behaviors? By taking measures to allow caregivers to implement treatment packages in their entirety, many benefits can arise. Ralston et al. 2019 identified that caregivers were able to significantly increase their level of treatment fidelity from baseline to coaching and maintenance phases. Additionally, Drew et al. 2022 found that caregivers expressed that they could comprehend the execution of the selected interventions without difficulty. Fedich et al. 2015 recognized that within phases of their study in which support from analysts had been provided, levels of treatment fidelity had increased considerably. When seeking participants to engage in this professional development, a flyer advertising the training had been shared in a Microsoft Teams channel entitled Practicum Group. 5 potential candidates came forward and expressed interest in participating. Each candidate had been supplied with a pre-professional development training questionnaire in which they would be able to determine whether they were qualified to engage in this training. Candidates would be qualified to engage in this training if they were either A, a newly board-certified behavior analyst practicing for 5 years or less, or a behavior technician, registered behavior technician, or junior analyst enrolled in an applied behavior analysis graduate course. Candidates would not be qualified to participate in this training if they were a board-certified behavior analyst practicing for 5 years or more, or a behavior technician or registered behavior technician not currently enrolled in an applied behavior analysis graduate course. Each of the 5 interested members had completed the pre-professional development training questionnaire, and it had been determined that each individual had been qualified to participate in the training. The participants consisted of 3 registered behavior technician graduate students and 2 board-certified behavior analysts who had received their certification within the past 6 months. Setting. The professional development training occurred virtually using the Google Meet application on February 27, 2025 at 8:30 p.m. for 1 hour. The designated time and date were determined upon participants sharing their availability a week before the training, using Google Forms. Although participants were free to choose the space in which they would engage in the training, it had been requested that the space be quiet and non-distracting. Independent and dependent variables. The dependent variable within this process is recognized as participants' level of comfort and knowledge surrounding significant components of conducting family guidance and powerful intervention packages. To comprehend participants' initial level of comfort and knowledge surrounding the targeted subject matter and how the dependent variable may have changed upon presenting the professional development, researchers had requested that a pre- and post-training questionnaire be completed and submitted. The independent variable implemented is a professional development training course entitled An Insight into Powerful Family Guidance Interventions, in which discussions on the impact of familial involvement, treatment packages, and the utilization of treatment fidelity with caregivers would be held. Throughout the professional development training, researchers would use didactic teaching when speaking on the areas of discussion and presenting quiz questions in the form of multiple choice, open-ended, and scenario exercise inquiries. Data had been collected using pre- and post-professional development training questionnaires and permanent product recording through multiple choice, open-ended, and scenario exercise quizzes administered throughout the training using Nearpod. Nearpod is an online presentation application that allows individuals to engage in a slideshow presentation if they should have access to the code required to enter the live presentation. Nearpod had been utilized to present the training and save participants' answers, which the trainer had reviewed during the training and at a later point in time. A board-certified behavior analyst had been contacted, and it had been requested that they assist with completing the inter-observer agreement for this process. Although it had been initially agreed upon that they would both review the recording of the professional development meeting at a later point in time, technological issues had occurred with the recording. Due to these unfortunate circumstances, reviewing the meeting recording had become unavailable. The board-certified behavior analyst had reviewed the permanent product answers and knowledge check responses, in addition to the pre- and post-questionnaire completed forms, and had been able to confirm the analyst's findings had been accurate. A treatment fidelity checklist was generated to ensure I had reviewed each point of significance throughout the professional development training. The treatment fidelity checklist consisted of elements such as reviewing the purpose of the professional development training, providing a brief overview of the literature, discussing the social significance of training, the significance of family guidance sessions, the significance of familial support, and so on. Throughout the professional development training, I had marked which talking points had been reviewed and which participants had completed their interactive activities. As evidenced by the chart you can see on our screen currently, I had completed treatment fidelity with 100% accuracy across all task list items. A pre/post design was utilized to evaluate the effects of presenting participants with the professional development training. During the pre-professional development phase of this process, participants were not undergoing any family guidance delivery training. In the post-professional development phase, participants had already undergone 1 hour of professional development training regarding varying components of family guidance and powerful interventions. Given that this professional development occurred virtually, not many materials were required. The materials that had been utilized throughout this process were supplied by the trainer and the participants themselves. Materials included electronic devices that allowed access to Google Meet, the Nearpod application used to present the training, and their email account to access and return completed copies of their pre- and post-professional development training questionnaires. Additional materials include the letter of consent from participants and the flyer advertising the professional development training. When considering all events participants engaged in for the study, many activities had been incorporated when generating an insight into powerful family guidance interventions professional development training. Before the training, participants would be prompted to reflect and share with the group as to what they feel or hope to benefit from engaging in this training based on a list of questions. Throughout the training, participants will engage in activities founded upon the didactic teaching lesson, such as responding to reflective prompts and answering multiple choice, open-ended, and scenario exercise inquiries, which considered areas of focus such as significant elements to family guidance sessions, the significance of familial support, effective interventions, and the importance of exercising treatment fidelity. Following each training chapter, participants were prompted to take a multiple choice quiz and engage in their knowledge check. To reiterate, this professional development training was designed after recognizing how meaningful it is for future and currently practicing board-certified behavior analysts to familiarize themselves with the various components of family guidance sessions. The professional development training entitled An Insight into Powerful Family Guidance Interventions was conducted to determine whether it might increase participants' comprehension and comfort regarding family guidance and interventions. It had been theorized throughout engagement and training that each individual's understanding and confidence in delivering family guidance sessions would increase and thereby enhance and strengthen their service delivery of family guidance sessions. As depicted in the graph currently on our screens now, we can see that participants range from 60 to 100% across varying prompts when considering the percentage of comprehension and comfort regarding family guidance sessions. Participant 1 ranged from 80 to 100%, Participant 2 ranged from 60 to 100%, Participant 3 ranged from 60 to 100%, Participant 4 ranged from 60 to 100%, and Participant 5 ranged from 60 to 80%. Throughout the professional development training, participants were required to complete multiple choice quizzes related to the discussed content. As pictured on the screen currently, the quiz answer grades ranged from 40% to 70%. Participant 1 ended with 70%, Participant 2 ended with 40%, Participant 3, 40%, Participant 4, 60%, and Participant 5, 70%. Following multiple choice quizzes, participants were presented with scenario exercises about the importance of treatment fidelity and psychoeducation. These being in the form of open-ended questions, analysts had not been able to graph said responses. However, analysts did note that participants responded to open-ended questions in a desired fashion. Following the study's training portion, participants had been asked to consider and report their level of comprehension and comfort surrounding family guidance sessions once more. This is depicted in the chart currently on the screen. Percentages ranged from 60 to 100% across varying prompts. Participant 1 stated that their percentage of comprehension and comfort regarding family guidance sessions was 100% across all prompts. Participant 2 did not respond to the post-professional development training questionnaire. Participant 3 said 60 to 80%. Participant 4 said 80 to 100%, and participant 5 said 80 to 100% across all prompts. Let it be noted that analysts had not been able to identify a significant shift in level of participants' level of comfort and knowledge surrounding family guidance sessions when comparing pre- and post-questionnaire responses. As evidenced by the available data, it is apparent that professional development training did not produce the desired outcomes regarding strengthening participants' confidence levels in delivering family guidance sessions. Despite not having an increase in participants' comprehension and comfort level within this area of focus, each training member recognized the significance of reviewing this content. Likewise, it was reported that they understood the value of an opportunity to be versed in an intervention package they previously were unfamiliar with. Further, when presented with the practice scenarios in which they were required to use the information obtained during the training to respond to the prompt, each individual could complete it with great ease. Analysts deduced that although this training had been relevant to each individual's practice, it would have been more beneficial if it had been delivered in a different format with a different group of participants. Our review of the findings obtained throughout the study determined that the professional development training did not have the desired impact on the selected participants. Upon analyzing why this may have been the case, it was realized that the selected individuals may not have been ideal candidates, considering that, before the training, participants already felt somewhat comfortable in their comprehension and comfort with delivery of family guidance sessions. This likely explains why a boost in participants' comprehension and comfort regarding family guidance sessions had not been observed. Moreover, the participants' below average quiz scores could be attributed to too much information being discussed over a short period of time. Discussing the 3 significant themes reviewed within this professional development training in separate meetings may have been more effective. Future analysts would be advised to include additional training days to ensure that participants can meet a set criterion before discussing other focus areas of family guidance. As identified in the social validity knowledge checks, participants had found the discussed content to be relevant to their current or future practices. This being the case, this professional development and study as a whole emphasizes the importance of providing such trainings to practitioners. It allows us to understand how we can further develop this training by recognizing the limitations which acted as barriers throughout this experience as to produce more desirable results when potentially replicated. Discussion points. The following consists of discussion points and/or questions geared towards the committee in regard to how future analysts interested in replicating this professional development training may strengthen its design or expand upon it further. Number 1. To avoid making the purpose of this training too broad, I narrowed down the focus areas in this professional development training to 3 themes. In doing so, I did not have the opportunity to discuss cultural variables as much as I would have liked to. My first question for the committee is what would have been the best course of action to incorporate the importance of remaining culturally aware when delivering family guidance as a discussion point in this training without overwhelming participants? My second inquiry to the committee is regarding measuring social validity with participants. As previously stated, I had measured participants' social validity by presenting them with knowledge checks in the form of open-ended questions throughout the training to determine whether they had found the content being discussed relevant to their practices. This being the case, numeric results depicting participants' level of social validity were not available. This brings me to my question. Analysts have come to recognize that there is a possibility that dividing the professional development into sections would have improved the results of the study. If future analysts chose to replicate or expand upon this training implementing the proposed adjustments, how might social validity be conducted as to obtain numeric results? My last discussion point is a reflection upon choosing the appropriate demographic for this training. While analysts hope that future researchers can produce an adjusted version of this training in which participants' level of comfort and knowledge can be strengthened, it is questioned how this training might be modified so that it can be presented to caregivers rather than practitioners. I'm led to my final inquiry for the community, which is as follows. Might it be beneficial for caregivers to undergo such trainings, and if so, are the same areas of focus relevant? And that concludes my defense presentation. I'd like to thank the committee for listening and supporting me throughout the process of creating this professional development training, and I hope you have a lovely day. If need be, please contact me by the following email with any questions, comments, or concerns. Again, thank you so much.